Okay, we're getting ready to make Mexican rice. And rice is awesome raw. And to make rice, one of the ways we can do it, and a really common way of doing it, is using parsnips. So when you take parsnips and peel them, chop them into small pieces or into inch cube pieces, and process them with the S-blade in your food processor, they'll go into little chunks and look very similar to rice. And it actually has a close texture to rice too, especially if you decide to dehydrate it for an hour, half an hour to an hour, just to soften it a little bit, which is or isn't necessary. And to be honest, usually I don't, because it's fine just the way it is. And I'm not going to this time. So for this recipe, we're going to make Mexican rice. And for this recipe, we have our parsnips. We have 2 cups of parsnips. That's our base. We have half a cup of sun-dried tomatoes, which have been soaking for an hour to 2 hours. We're going to use half a cup of red pepper. This is a little bit more. It'll be about 3/4 of the red pepper. A 1/4 cup of red onion, which this is about a 1/4 cup, 1/4 of the red onion. 2 garlic cloves. 1 teaspoon of salt. We would use 2 tablespoons of Mexican seasoning if we had it, which I'm going to make my own by using 2 teaspoons each of onion powder, cumin, and chili. And that's going to equal 2 tablespoons of seasoning, so that'll work perfectly. And we have and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. So I'm going to leave the seasonings for later and start first by peeling and cutting up my parsnips. So I'm just going to take the top and the end off and peel them and chop them up. And then we'll put them in the processor. And you can watch and see. You just have to watch to the right consistency. There, they're all peeled. Get rid of these. Now we're just going to chop these up and put them into our processor. There we go. Okay, it's all in our processor now. And I'm going to put it on and just stop it when it gets close to the right size, and then just pulse it carefully till I get it right down to where I want it. One more. Now, get a bit perfectionistic about it, but give or take a little bit, it's really okay. So now we have a beautiful uniform size rice here. And that is going to be our rice. So we're going to transfer this to a bowl. I'm not going to wash out the processor yet because I'm going to drain the sun-dried tomatoes and put those in and let the processor chop that up for me. Okay. A little bit of parsnip is not going to hurt. So now I'm going to actually get my garlic ready, and the red pepper and the red onion. Okay, everything's in. I'm going to do these vegetables separately from the sun-dried tomato, just to make sure I get them at the right size. And I want them to be about the same size as the rice, finely chopped up. your spatula and scrape it all down. And this is completely optional how much you want to blend it up and how much you want to process this, how small you want them. I like it to be about the same size as the rice. You see these nice little red flecks in there. It's very pretty. Just like this. But if you processed it a lot, it would still taste good. And if you had bigger chunks, that would be fine too. The spices are going to really help make it. One big piece of red pepper stuck there, or biggish. I'm going to leave it. It'll get processed more with the tomatoes, which is our next step. Just lift them out and drain those. Those go in. And if you don't have a food processor, you can just chop everything up quite fine. And if you don't get it this fine, that's fine. Okay. So I'm going to scoop it down. I'm going to do it one more time. Just to get them broken up as much as the processor will do that for me. These appliances really make life easy. Okay, that's it. And add the tomato to our mixture. Okay, so now we're going to add the rest of our seasonings and ingredients. We'll start with the olive oil. We're going to add 2 tablespoons. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. And 2 teaspoons of chili powder, 2 tablespoons of Mexican seasoning, or we're going to make our own. For each tablespoon, a tablespoon each of chili powder, cumin, and onion powder. I love cumin too. And cumin's another favorite spice of mine. Really good. 2 teaspoons of onion powder. And that's it. We're just going to blend it all together now. There. At this stage, we should be finished this. We will just taste it, and you can adjust the seasonings if you decide you want more or less. I have lots of faith in it. It's perfect just like that. It's a beautiful side dish. You don't need to do anything else to it. You can serve it just like this. It's absolutely delicious. If you want to, you can dehydrate it for half an hour to an hour just to soften it lightly, so it's more like, it has more of the texture of rice, like a softer rice dish. But it's delicious just like this. So that's it. Enjoy.